What's the future of Baylor and Dave Aranda? He's on a lot of people's hot seat list this year, which is crazy because you rewind the clocks about 2, 3 years ago, he was on one of the hottest coaches lists. Those roles have completely reversed. So where is he now, and what's the future of the Baylor program? He's now entering into year 5 under Dave Aranda this 2024 season. Overall, he's got a 23-25 record. He's really riding off that 12-win season that he had with the Big 12 championship at the end. Since then, he's regressed to 6-7 and 3-9 since that year. Baylor's a pretty interesting program because since 2011 they have 3 Big 12 championships, one with Aranda in 2021, and then 2 in the Art Briles area, and that's the most in the conference in that time span outside of Oklahoma. Yes, including Texas. So they have seen some success in Waco, but it's been very sporadic and it's been very much like, hit or miss. But they are not new to success, and their expectations are to compete for the Big 12 championship. And the past few seasons, they have not done so. So when we look at their schedule this year, their schedule is not doing Dave Aranda or Baylor any favors this year. They have a really tough in-conference schedule. They draw Utah in week 2 in Salt Lake, and then they're at Iowa State this year, at Texas Tech. They host Oklahoma State and Kansas. Right now, that's 5 of the top 7 teams in the conference, according to FanDuel, to win the conference in terms of those odds. So they're playing the top half of the conference this year, which is, does not really bode all that well for Dave Aranda and Baylor's season. They have DeQuan Finn coming in from Toledo, which is, something that you really want to hang your hat on, and hopefully he'll be, a hit in the transfer portal. Because last year they had a pretty abysmal offense. They were 73rd overall in total offense and 101st in points. And, DeQuan Finn came from Toledo, where he had just torn it up. So they're hoping that he can bring some spark back to that offense. As we look into this season, they're on Bill Conley's, SP Plus ranking at number 71, and they're 41st in returning production. So neither of those are relatively high. And their win total, says that as well. The Vegas has their win total at 5.5. That's not that high. Their recruiting has struggled. Their 67th ranked class this year in the 2024 recruiting cycle. That's behind a lot of G5 schools. That really shouldn't be the case at Baylor. I think Aranda needs to get about 8 wins this year to comfortably save his job. It's a tough schedule, but I don't know what the vision he is selling, right? He's not recruiting at an elite level. He's not portaling at a level that competes with the rest of the Big 12. They're behind, the likes of UCF and TCU and Houston and Utah and Texas Tech. Like, they're in a tier below all of those schools. And, this is a really important year in the Big 12. This is a year where the 2 big blue bloods leave, Texas and Oklahoma. Obviously, Texas hasn't won the Big 12 outside of last year, but previously to that in quite some time. But now the Big 12 is wide open. So if Baylor doesn't make a competitive stride this year in the Big 12, they're at risk of fumbling a really great opportunity to establish the Baylor brand as a top competitor in the Big 12 in that conference. So I think if he doesn't get to these 8 wins and really impress a lot of people at Baylor, I think they're going to move on from Aranda. Follow at bigbodyball CFB on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of the socials at bigbodyball CFB.